What have I ever recorded something before?
Tell me how you like it, yeah.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the We Don't Know TV podcast. My name is Leaf. I'm your host. This is a podcast where we watch the first episode of a show and talk about it. And today we're talking about Love, Death, and Robots. Almost forgot. So I do have some thoughts on season 4, but we're going to save that towards the end. Like I was saying, we watched the first episode of a show and then talk about it. So Love, Death, and the Robots. The premise on IMDb states a collection of animated short stories that span various genres, including science fiction, fantasy, horror, and comedy. I love anthology series just because, you know, one episode could suck and then the next one could be extremely awesome. So last week I did, or last time, not week, I did Star Wars Visions. So I was like, all right, let me do another one. You know, it's nice to watch a show where it's like, you know, what could happen. We start off with episode 1, Sunny's Edge. We see a futuristic. If it's your first time here, have I ever recorded something before? If it's your first time here, I go through the plot beat by beat. That way you don't have to, and that way I don't forget anything. We start off with a futuristic city, and but like it's far away, and we are sent underground. And I love the semi-realistic look of it. It reminds me of Final Fantasy Advent Children, if you've ever seen that movie. So we see these two characters. And they're talking about some sort of like glitch going on with whatever system that they're using. And we see our main character, Sunny, and she's, you know, hood on her face, scars on her face, or hood over her head, scars on her face. And some guy comes up and, you know, stops them. And they're like, what the hell? Like, you know, we're here for the fight. And this other guy comes with a cane and he's like, oh, sorry, you know, these events keep getting bigger and bigger. It's just a security, you know, measure type thing. We just want to make sure that they paid your appearance fee. And it's like, it's so funny, we gotta pay just to get to the fight. We haven't even fought yet. And he goes up to the tank that they brought and he's like, can I have a look? And you see this almost like dinosaur looking thing inside. And he's like, it's magnificent. And she's like, she's magnificent. And when she says that, she's like looking at the guy's like girlfriend or side piece. I don't know, his girl. He's like, well, what if I pay you to lose this fight? And she's like, no, she's completely against it. She's like, I don't dive, I don't lose. And he's like, okay, what like makes you so special? And she's like, it's not that I'm special, it's that I'm unique. And her team kind of chimes in, saying she's won 17 consecutive fights, and the guy's like trying to bribe her with more and more money, and it's just not working. They're like, this isn't like just fighting for her, this is personal. Her other teammate, because the guy was like, it's only one loss, right? It's whatever. And her teammate is kind of like, no, it's not. Let me give you a little backstory. Sunny was kidnapped, she was raped, and they cut her up. And every time she goes out to fight, she is fighting for more than, you know, just fighting. She is essentially like fighting the people that did that to her every time she's in the ring. She's like, in a way, getting her revenge. And you can, as this is being explained, you can see that she's walking bare feet and she's walking on glass. So clearly she's been through some stuff. Is, you know, getting all of her anger out in one way or another. But he's like, all right, I'm not going to bother you guys anymore. Clearly you're not going to do it, whatever. So we go into the arena, very neon. It feels like they're going into a rave. It feels very Cyberpunk 2027 adjacent, or like even in the same world, but like years like prior. So it's pretty cool. So they're setting up for the fight. Sunny links up to her beast, and she seems like she like dives into her beast. The other guy is just kind of like chilling or whatever. One part I missed is as they're setting up the whole fight, the bad guy, the opponent is the word I'm looking for. He's like, yeah, girl, you're going down, 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 and like motions like getting head. And I forgot how much this episode is very much like female empowerment and very you know, lesbian forward. And like, even though it's, you know, only a couple of minutes into the episode, I'm like, we're pushing this a little hard, you know what I mean? Like, we could be a little more subtle with this stuff. But yeah, so we got, I might have written the names down wrong, but we got Carnivore, which is Sunny's beast, and then the other guy was just like Turbo Raptor or something like that. So the two start fighting, and I'm not gonna go through the beats of every single part of the fight, but essentially it's speed versus power, with Sunny being the speed. It's really cool. She has this tail on her back because again, there are two monsters fighting. She has her tail on her back, and it goes from like Scorpion to like almost like Doc Ock from Spider-Man, where it like splits into four, and she can kind of use them individually. So she's just stabbing him up, and he is on the ropes. But eventually, he does get a couple hits in, and she cuts off his arm. Turns out underneath he had like a bone sword, so it like flips out, and then he pins her up against the wall, and he stabs her in the stomach, I think. And again, it's very like, even the way it's shot is very much like this is like a metaphor for like what happened to her, and it's happening to her now. But you know, she has to overcome that and use her female power to, you know what I mean? Like, I forgot this episode isn't really subtle at all. But yeah, she comes back. She like grabs him. She stabs him in the neck because her like head part is kind of pointed. And what's crazy though is she like stabs him enough to like put her face into his body, and then kind of comes out with it. I was like, yo, that's wild. That guy's dead. Yeah, so his beast dies, but again, you can see that he's like upset, and he kind of controls his with this little chip. Meanwhile, Sunny is the beast, so it's like, I wonder if she's just more connected, or you know what I mean? Like, is this more of a I forget that Hugh Jackman movie, but it's with the robots, but he like does the punches for the robots. Like, is it more like that? Like, it's just like a different setup for her, or what? And so wins the fight. The two, her two friends are like celebrating. Sunny sees the guy's girlfriend from earlier that she was looking at, and she goes to follow her. And she's like, you know, like, what are you doing down here? And they're just start talking. She's like, why are you with him? And she's like, oh, you know, it's for security. And she's like, well, why don't you come with us? And she's like, I'm not brave, and you know, you're also a little bit scary, but like in a hot way. And she's like, I'll never be like you. She's like, how do you do it? Aren't you scared every time you're out there? And she's like, yeah, I'm scared all the time, you know, of this and that. I remember she says, because she starts touching her, and they're clearly about to bang. And then before things start getting heated, the girl brings up her getting raped. Well, Sunny getting raped. And she's like, it's not even about that. Like, people keep putting that on me as if that's like the sole reason I do what I do, but that's not the reason I do it. And no one clearly understands me. Even you're like the guy you're working for, like, he doesn't you know, get why I am the way that I really am. And as she's saying this, the girl goes over, and she takes off her top, and she like opens her legs, and Sunny's like, I'm in there. So she goes over, she starts kissing her on the neck, and then she gets Wolverined as the girl like shoves her claws like through Sunny's head. And the guy comes out, and he's like, oh, scared, aren't you? And Sunny's on the floor, and she's like, whatever, like, it's a neat trick, dude. And they're like, whatever. And so the girl goes, stomps Sunny's head in. Turns out she is basically like an android, and they're like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? And she's like, yeah, so like when that thing happened to me, they kind of broke my skull, so my team was able to save me, but not in the way you think. And so the girl figures it out a little too late, as one of the tails stabs through her face, and the tentacles wrap around the guy and they pick him up. And Sunny is no longer human. She is now the beast.
Are you scared now?
And that's it. And what was interesting about this is, I remember the twist of the episode, and I remember that's why I liked it. Also, the fact that it was, you know, like an underground fight, but it's like, what if you turned into a monster instead? And I was like, okay, cool. But the whole like subplot of her being a lesbian, trying to like get the girl to come with her, of the guy trying to get her to throw the fight, I forgot all of that. So like when she gets stabbed through the head, I was like, oh, I don't remember this at all. So it was pretty cool to find out how the twist actually happened, even though I already knew the twist. So sometimes it is about the journey and not about the destination. But first time here, I have a 3-point rating scale. It is one and done. Give it a chance, and I'm in. For this one, I'm in. If this was the first episode, I'm pretending like I've never seen it before. Clearly, this is dope. Like, I had a great time with this. And then I think the first season is like, 8 or 10 episodes? I think it's 10 episodes. So as long as it's like some sort of good variety, I think, yeah, I'd be like, okay, yeah, let me try these out. And I did. I've clearly watched all 4 seasons of this show. I still think that season 1 ultimately is still the best of them all. As I was looking through the episodes, because I picked my 4 favorite ones and put them in the thumbnail from each season. Season 2, I remember being like a dip. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as season 1. I feel like season 3 picks it back up. Season 4, we gotta talk about. So I'm gonna get into spoilers come season 4. So if you don't want to hear any of that, just go watch season 4 and then come back. The episodes are actually pretty short. Or you can just stick around and then, watch it on your own time. You have free will. You decide. But season 4 kind of sucked. I feel like a lot of the episodes were either like concepts, or it felt like I had walked in at the end of a movie or like at the end of a TV show, like a season finale type thing. And I'm like, huh? Where I felt like a lot of the other episodes were self-contained. Like Sunny's Edge, I didn't feel like I was missing something. I was like, oh, this is just getting started. Where I felt like so much of season 4 was just like the end of a story that you're just popping into. And I was like, huh? Especially that it was like a live action one where the dude goes, he's like a priest, and there's like a dolphin Jesus, and he says the wrong thing, and now the Earth's being invaded. I was like, what is this? Like, where's the budget? And then I went home recently, back to Pennsylvania, and I was talking to my dad about it, and he's like, the first episode with the Red Hot Chili Peppers was pretty cool. Now, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it, it's literally just a concert of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but they're like, what if everybody, even the crowd, was all puppets? And I thought that there was going to be some sort of, twist in the middle or whatever, of it being like them kind of trapped in, sort of some sort of cycle, or like they think that they're real people, and they're like, you guys ever feel like we're just, like doing the same thing, like almost like a Toy Story type thing? But no, it really just is a concert. It is their concert from start to finish. And that's it. There's nothing else to that first episode. And I was like, you've lost the plot. The whole point, even in the premise that I read, is to make short stories. And there's no short story. You just did a music video. And it was like, what if I, did it differently? And it's like, that's not what I'm here for. So yeah, season 4 pretty much sucked, except for Zeke Finds Religion. I think that episode was awesome. It is season 1 worthy quality, in my opinion. It is definitely like a show that, or it's definitely a episode that I feel like could be a live action movie. It kind of reminded me of this movie called Overlord. I don't know if anyone's even seen that one. But yeah, for the most part, season 4 was just ass for real. But yeah, I still think season 1 is the best of it. But I do love, like, again, a good anthology series, because you never know what you're going to get. I hope if this series does continue, that they don't do whatever the hell that they decided to do with season 4, and they get back to at least season 2 quality. Because, yeah. But yeah, so I give this episode and I'm in. I hope we do get more of this show and they don't cancel it, because Netflix loves to cancel stuff. But I don't know, we'll see. That's what I got. Let me know what your favorite season is, what your favorite episode is, what you thought about this season, or whatever you want to put in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.